Chinedu, today is the 23rd day of October in the year of our Lord 2021. I am here with one of our able barristers, our attorney, special counsel, Barrister Aloy Ejimako. But before I bring him in, let us pray. The God of our ancestors, we have once again gathered here in order to do the needful, in order to preach the gospel of liberation, enlightenment, and freedom. Behold our leader who is in the enemy territory. We are not worried because he is your servant. You sent him. Therefore, we know that this is part of the process. Hold him with your able hands, that nothing will ever harm him. Any people or group of people that participated in one way or the other, either through their actions or inaction, in that extraordinary rendition of our leader, destroy them and their families and their generations. Thank you, Chukwu Kiabiam, for in your name we have prayed. He say. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you to today's edition of Radio Biafra House of Service, coming to you through Radio Biafra London. Our leader is the indefatigable Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is undergoing all these inconveniences and suffering. He sacrificed himself for you and I. Now the question you should ask yourself is this: what have I given to the people? How am I supported in this liberation effort? Therefore, I will bring in, as I said, I am here joined by Barrister Aloy Ejimako, the special counsel of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Barrister, welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Hold on a bit. Hold on a bit. Hold on. Yeah, can you come again, please? Can you come again? Welcome to the program, please. Welcome to the program. Please, can you say something in your preamble before we continue in this preamble, please? Barrister, please hold on. I'm having a sound problem. Just hold on, please. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. I can hear you, but the whole world is not hearing you. That's the problem. Okay, you are good to go. Go on. The whole world is hearing you now. Go on.
Yeah, sure. Sure. I'm happy to be on the program, and I appreciate your bringing me to the program and giving me the opportunity to speak on some of the burning issues of the day. So And I greet all the listeners, and I hope you would listen up and listen out very closely to what I have to say tonight. Thank you, Jonathan. Over to you.
Thank you. And, that thing you have to say is why I brought you in. First of all, we have seen what transpired on the 21st day of October, being day before yesterday. Many people, because please, if you are speaking, you can lower your explanation so that ordinary people, at least even our people in different places, in different areas, laymen, I should say, will understand you, please. Now, what happened day before yesterday? Our leader was brought to court. Many people are saying, so this is just what we waited for. Our leader just came, they brought him to court, and within a few minutes, he's gone. Please, can you start by telling us really what happened?
Well, first of all, for those who didn't hear you properly at the beginning, I will introduce myself. Aloy Ejimako is my name, a legal practitioner, and I'm the special counsel to Mazi and Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra, and I'm proudly so. Today I'm speaking to you, and I will handle all these topics to the best of my capacity. So if you listen very carefully, I'm going to break it down. Well, what happened that day is what lawyers call presentment and arraignment. He was presented in court and arraigned, and it was not expected that the trial proper will occur that day. So to us as lawyers or to insiders or people that are familiar with legal procedures, there is no way the trial could have occurred that day, because that was the first time he was being presented to court with the assistance of counsel or in the presence of his counsel, including my humble self. So the government, and even though we are, the government still is not prepared. So we did not expect that trial could have occurred that day, but that does not excuse, what happened. You see, it lies with the government to prove. Lawyers say that he who asserts must prove. You see, this is somebody, a great leader, the rendition back in late June. And this, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is almost 4 months that they committed this abomination of extraordinary rendition. 4 months later, they are not ready to put him up for trial. That is a travesty of justice. So already they have, gained
please,
almost 4 months.
Before you go on, let me, just break you there a bit. What does, you said something. Our leader has been there since almost 4 months without being presented to court, without, So what does the law, the Constitution of Nigeria say concerning arraignment of an individual to court? How long should the person be arraigned to court?
Okay, I'll continue from where I stopped. You see, already the government has gained a whole free 4 months of imprisonment on his part, imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu without conviction. That is not fair, and that is potentially unconstitutional. You see, the Constitution does not allow that. The Constitution guarantees everybody fair and quick trial. You see, you don't accuse somebody and you're holding him for over 4 months, and now you're not putting him up for trial. It's not our duty. It doesn't lie with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to present himself for trial. It lies with the government. It lies with the people that rendition him. So this, if you look at this matter critically, it appears to me that the government is not even ready to try him, probably because of this notion that is gaining currency all around the place, that they don't have sufficient evidence to present in court. So they are stalling in order to continue to gain incarceration time over him, because every day he spends in detention is a free time to the government, is a free time to the accuser, to the prosecutor of someone who has not been convicted of any offense, but he gets to spend incarceration time in prison. It's not fair, and it's potentially, as I said before, it's potentially unconstitutional. And if they continue to do this, you get to a point where we'll be forced to, come forward with certain motions to stop that. But for the meantime, we already have before the court certain motions that are challenging the jurisdiction of the court to continue with this trial based on the extraordinary rendition thing we're talking about. So I believe this sort of thing is, or the process we have filed will work to the advantage of putting the government under pressure to either, do one thing or the other, but they cannot continue to profit from their own wrong. That is not permissible. We're not going to allow that to happen. So we remain vigilant to anything that has has any indication of continued violation of his rights.
Thank you, Barrister. There's something you also mentioned now about the government profiting from their own wrong, and we also know that you sued the government, or you put a motion in Umuahia, at Umuahia court, in order to talk about all these issues. Please, can you also clarify about the case at Umuahia court? Please go.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jonathan. This is a very important question, because I have sensed a little bit of lack of understanding of the process that I filed on Umuahia. It's not a motion, Jonathan. It's an originating lawsuit standing on its own merit. Lawyers will call that sui generis, means that it's standing on its own merit, and it's a special lawsuit. I filed it in Abia State because it's my judgment, my considered judgment as a lawyer, that the Abia State High Court has jurisdiction, authority to hear that case. It has the authority to hear it, because the run of events or the actions that led this lawsuit began in Abia State, precisely between 10th and 14th September 2017, when the Nigerian government or its agents levied military attacks against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's residence at Isiama Afaruku Ibeku in September 2017. So this very occurrence gives Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the bias, the authority and the choice, the legal grounds to take this matter to court with a process that is called fundamental rights enforcement under section 46 of the Nigerian Constitution, which gives the state high court and the federal high court concurrent jurisdictions. But in this very case, it is his choice to go either before the federal high court in Umuahia or before the state high court. So we chose the state high court for that, because jurisdiction is clear. And it is this very incident of September 2017 is in my argument, is this very incident that directly led to the incident in Kenya. Because if the federal government had not levied attacks against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in September, he would have remained in Nigeria to take his trial the very next month of October 2017. He was free on bond. He never breached any of the conditions of his bond. There was no warrant for his arrest. But still, they went there. The army, police, DSS, they went there and attacked his house, and 28 people were killed, and a lot of people were abducted. And this very attack indirectly, later in time, led to the death of his parents. So I do believe that it will be the proper thing to bring this matter for the first time. It has never been brought before a court of law to consider the consequences of this action. And now that they followed up on this action and ultimately renditioned him from Kenya back to Nigeria, I think it's time that this matter is brought before a court to put its mouth in it and make certain determinations of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's rights that have been violated. It's my argument that there is an unbroken chain linking the attack at Afaruku in September 2017 to the extraordinary rendition in Kenya in June 2021. Because, you see, they keep talking about him jumping bail. He didn't jump bail. You know, even if you are not a lawyer, you should know that jumping bail will take, you know, a volitional act on your part, a voluntary part. It takes a decision by someone to run away, but, you know, for no reason at all, just for the reason that he doesn't want to face his trial. But in this case is different. You know, he was under attack, or he was under military attack, and the whole locale of the Federation of Nigeria after that attack posed present and imminent danger to him. It's only a tree that you tell you kill, he will just be there standing still. He's a human being guided by the law of self-preservation, which is the first law of nature. So he left the locale of that threat to his life to another locale, and you pursued him from the locale from the place where you failed to kill him without due process of law to the place that he managed to garner safety, which was Kenya. You pursued him to Kenya and abducted him, kidnapped him, and you never presented him before a Kenyan court of law to undergo what is called extradition proceedings. It's an entitlement that every international fugitive, so to speak, because they called him an international fugitive. Okay, fine. International fugitives have rights, and the first right they have is the right to undergo an extradition proceedings before they are removed from the safe location to the country that wishes their return. This was not done in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's not only a breach of the laws of Kenya, it's also a breach of Nigerian law on point, and a breach of international law on point. And this is what is before the Abia State High Court, the Python dance, the attack at Afaruku Ibe, the hot pursuit to Kenya, and the extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. So based on these terrible events, terrible violations of his rights, I have approached the court to ask for certain prayers, for certain reliefs. Principal amongst them is that somebody who is extraordinarily renditioned is not supposed to be prosecuted anymore. Extraordinary rendition creates an insurmountable barrier to prosecution of the person you renditioned or you rendered. So this is before the court. I'm asking the court to have him released and give him the opportunity to return to his habitual place of domicile, which is United Kingdom. I'm not requesting for bail because I don't believe that what happened is legal, is unconstitutional, is illegal, is unlawful. So requesting for bail will be almost like giving it a toga or legality. No, you request for bail for somebody who is legally detained. Nnamdi Kanu's detention is illegal under both municipal and international law, and the remedy is to release him and allow him to go home. Thank you.
And in that case, what did the court say for the meantime?
Well, the process is still playing out. As you recall, I filed a process on 27th of August, and it took quite some time for the respondents, namely the federal government and Attorney General of the Federation. The first time we had a hearing on this matter, they didn't show up in court, and then we went home, and the case was rescheduled. Then the calendar, the vacation, the court vacation in Abia State affected the hearing of the matter by as much as 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Now the case has been assigned and set down for hearing on the 2nd of November. So suddenly the Attorney General materialized from somewhere and filed an application before the court pleading for more time to respond to the suit, to defend the suit. So I had to oppose the application. I mean, this is not a normal case. In certain normal cases, you could say, well, let them have more time, as much time as they want to respond. But not in this very case where my client has been detained for almost 4 months and you're asking for more time to respond to a suit that is supposed to receive accelerated hearing. Under the rules governing the suit that I filed, parties have 5 days to respond to anything. But it's got to over a month now, and they're asking for more time to respond. So I had to oppose that. So my opposition, the application and my opposition will be decided on 2nd November, and after that, perhaps there could be one more motions hearing, and then we get to the nitty-gritty of hearing the substantive matter. It's my intention to have this matter concluded before the end of November, come what may. I will not permit the government to engage in any further dielectric tactics, delay tactics. No, I will not permit that. So I want my case to be heard in an accelerated form as quickly as possible, so the court can reach that determination. I'm confident that we shall prevail. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Going on with what happened 2 days back at the Abuja High Court, we saw that many lawyers were prevented from entering. Now, the question there is there a secret trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
It's a very good question. You see, when you begin to restrict access to the courtroom to people that are supposed to have access, even if the court did not make an open declaration of a secret trial, it begins to look like one. There were just very few of us inside the courtroom. Yes, okay, if the courtroom could not take as many lawyers, well, you can say that, but at least they should be allowed to come upstairs and stay around the confines, and as many people as the room can take can come in. The Constitution gives an accused person the right to counsel, and it does not restrict him to the number of lawyers he should take. A lot of lawyers who are not directly, representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came to court to show solidarity with him and with his frontline legal team. So as many of those lawyers should have been allowed to come in to witness what is going on. They are the, agents at the Temple of Justice. Their constituency is the courtroom. So shutting them out from the courtroom and shutting out other parties that came, not just lawyers, some civic organizations, sent representatives, and so on and so forth, and they were shut out. That's unfortunate, and it wasn't. It was more restricted than it was the last time. So that left me wondering what is really going on. So I sort of have a feeling that at the next scheduled date for the hearing, which of course is going to be a motions hearing, but if as many lawyers as the courtroom could take who come to show solidarity with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his legal team are not allowed to enter, the legal team, may have to also boycott the courtroom until the writing is done. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, moving forward, now, concerning the trial of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which I don't see as a trial anyway, because you have said it all. You cannot, bring.
You cannot prosecute.
You prosecute. When you start
somebody
from
illegality. Render.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, is there anything or any effort by the British government in order to maybe in one way or the other, have they been doing anything, maybe even behind the scenes, to help their citizens, please?
Yes, well, I'm the counsel handling the consular aspect, so I'm speaking on good authority. that I can tell you that personally I am not satisfied with the British High Commission in Nigeria has done, or the British Home Government from the UK. I'm not satisfied at all. It fell far short of my expectation that such a great power as Britain will stand by and allow herself to be intimidated by a country like Nigeria when it comes to matters of rule of law, of which Britain is a leader amongst Committee of Nations. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen. You cannot wish that away. And that citizenship comes with certain rights. And one of those rights is right of access to his High Commission or officials of the British government when he is in distress. And what is happening to him right now in Nigeria is a distress. So I don't know why it's taking them so much time. So I have expressed my frustrations to them privately. I've also expressed my frustrations with them publicly in several newspaper interviews I have done or press releases. But I'm wondering, why is this happening when in 1984, Britain made bold to protect a non-citizen named Umaru Diko, who Nigeria attempted to rendition to Nigeria as well. The first act of extraordinary rendition before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's own was in 1984. A man named Umaru Diko, I think he's late now, and he was the same person that is president now that was the dictator at the time. So they got him in UK, kidnapped him and put him in a crate. That was extraordinary rendition because they didn't give him the benefit of extradition proceedings before a UK court. They tried to bring him to Nigeria secretly in a crate. They were caught at Heathrow Airport, and the whole plan was thwarted by British intelligence. Subsequently, 17 people who were involved were arrested. Out of these 17 people, 6 were convicted for various prison terms ranging from 4 to 8 years, and they served hard labor imprisonment in Britain. The rest were deported. And the Nigerian Airways aircraft that was going to be the vehicle for the rendition was confiscated, interdicted in UK. The pilot was arrested, was nearly arrested. The High Commissioner, Nigerian High Commissioner to Britain, was decertified or decredentialized and deported. There were a whole lot of countervailing measures by the British government, and this received the acclaim of the entire Committee of Nations that were shocked at what Nigeria tried to do. Okay? But Umaru Diko was not a British citizen. He was a mere British resident. And Britain rolled out her entire arsenal of diplomatic and political clout to defend Umaru Diko. In this case, Nnamdi Kanu deserves even better because he's a citizen. So I am not taking it lying down. I'm not accepting all these excuses about stonewalling by the Nigerian government. If Britain feels it's doing the right thing, which I think it is doing the right thing, everybody knows it is doing the right thing by asking to have access to her citizens, asking to have access to see whether they will give him better medical care, to talk to him, to see what they can do to help him as a citizen. Then, if Nigerian government is stonewalling, that shouldn't be an excuse. You break the stone wall. I mean, for God's sake, you have the capacity. You're a world power. You're a superpower. So you shouldn't be intimidated, in a situation where you are asserting your sovereign rights over your citizens. So I am disappointed, my brother, that there has not been a new turnaround in this very engagement of Britain towards Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's predicament. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me ask you also this question. And I don't know whether after I will open my line so that you can take some few questions, just few questions, whether it's okay with you?
Okay, the listeners?
Yes, of course. But before
sure,
that,
sure. You
okay,
can ask me anything.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Let it be the last before I open the lines.
Okay.
You see what the Attorney General of Nigeria, Malami, his media prosecution, labeling everything, every violent action on Mazi, Nnamdi, Kanu and IPOB. Please, what do you have to say about this? What do you have to say about this?
Well, I hope, let me seek, I'll seek your indulgence and that of your listeners to answer this question by telling you a short story. You see, if you can recall, on July 18, 2021, those people, the terrorists up in northern Nigeria, they call bandits, shot down an Alpha jet belonging to the Nigerian Air Force. Okay, and that was, right at the boundary between Zamfara and Kaduna states. I'm telling you with particularity. Okay, then on October 7, 2021, the Wall Street Journal, one of the most credible newspapers in the US, got credible information that the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Air Force particularly, paid 20 million naira to terrorist bandits to buy back an anti-aircraft gun that the terrorists had seized from the Nigerian army in some recent clash. You see, the aircraft gun, is considered a threat to civil aviation flying across the skies of Nigeria. But I think what had motivated this very terrible, funny transaction, according to Wall Street Journal, was that the aircraft was found to be posing, the anti-aircraft gun was found to be posing a threat to the president's aircraft in Nigeria. So they had to buy it back. You're talking of a country that says it's a sovereign nation. It's buying back weapons seized from Nigerian army, from terrorists that they prefer to call bandits. And then it's terrible. And the Wall Street Journal is saying that the terrorists have collaborators in the army. They are not the first persons that said it. General T.Y. Danjuma, the former chief of army staff, had said that in the past, I think about 2 years ago. And he called Nigerians to take up arms to defend themselves, that the army is collaborating with the terrorists. And there is this thing about the fear of terrorists to be entering Abuja, and people were saying it's impossible. But just recently, I think a few days ago, they blew up the Abuja-Kaduna rail tracks. And that, led to, a suspension of rail transportation between Abuja and Kaduna. And what has become very clear in recent times is that the government has either proved unwilling or unable or indifferent or even complicit in the activities of these marauding terrorists. But the government, quite in a funny way, has proven very attentive to the non-violent activities of the indigenous people of Biafra and its leader that it renditioned and is currently being detained. They are suddenly more capable than the dangerous combination of terrorists in the Sahel, the ISWAP, Islamic State in West African Peninsula, Boko Haram, the militants, the headsmen and whatever, and IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu are suddenly the most dangerous set of people in the world. That is according to Nigerian government. How can that ever be possible? How can that be reasonable? It stands to reason, therefore, that what the Attorney General is saying, it can be characterized as tales, by the moonlight, that nobody, should, even take seriously. But even then, now speaking as a lawyer, what he's saying is in contempt of court. It's also defamatory to the name of IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and it's highly prejudicial as well. You see, when a matter is in court, lawyers will rather tell you, oh no, I won't discuss this matter in details because it's sub judice. But the Attorney General of the Federation a senior advocate of Nigeria, didn't give considerations to things like this. So he went beyond the Federal High Court to discuss these very inflammatory accusations in the public. Allegations that they did not bring before the court. I saw the amended charge with my own eyes. I saw the proof of evidence they attached the amended charge. There was nothing about any killings of a party chairman or hold or this killing, whatever. All these things that this man, the Attorney General, was talking about on Friday, none of these things even NSAS. Okay? And you see, we have a situation here where this is not even the truth at all. If you go to the public domain and do a little bit of a research, you'll find out that the people who allegedly burnt down part of the palace of Oba of Lagos were named and charged, and they were before the court. They are before the court. They are still before the court. And there's none of them that is an IPOB member. I think most, or if not all of them, are Yorubas. Anyway, they never told the court that Nnamdi Kanu sent them, or that they were propelled by his radio broadcast from London. You see, so it's like, we leave the substance and start chasing shadows. The substance of the moment is the extraordinary rendition. This is what you need to tell your listeners and anybody that wishes Nnamdi Kanu well and who believes in the rule of law should be happening on this on a daily basis. When you do this, you have defeated your right to try that person in court. When you do extraordinary rendition on a suspect, your right to try that suspect in court is lost. The only way you can regain that right is to release the person, send him back to his habitual place of domicile, then go there and file the processes of extradition. And if the court of that very foreign country grants your request, then you take him to your country and try him. But until you've done that, you can't try him otherwise. And that is why America, a whole America, a world power, is presently filing extradition requests in Nigeria to have Nigerian government authorize the repatriation or the extradition of Abba Kyari, a police officer here, to America to face some criminal allegations. Why didn't America, a world power, just fly in and pick him up, like an ego will pick a chicken and take him to America and try him? Because they know if they do that, no high court in America would entertain the trial. They would simply tell them to send him back and file for extradition before a high court in Nigeria. And if it's granted, then we can bring him in. So the inquiry that should be made by any Nigerian court to whom this matter appears or is presented to is to ask the government to show an extradition warrant. They must exhibit an extradition warrant from a Kenyan court before any Nigerian court can go to the next step over this matter. So the Attorney General is really telling tales by the moonlight. And in time, we as lawyers shall think about other new ways we can respond to him appropriately. But I don't think anybody needs to worry about that. Mazi's matter is in court, and it shall be decided in court sooner or later. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister Ejimako. Before I open the line, this extraordinary rendition and the matter of our leader running for his life from Afara Ibeku when the Nigerian military came to kill him. But all you hear in the Nigerian media is they always talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail, and also They talk about this is extraordinary rendition. They never mention it like that. They talk about him being arrested and extradited. Does it mean that the Nigerian media, they are ignorant or they are mischievous? Please, what do you think about this?
Okay, well, I see. I'm not here to either condemn or promote Nigerian media, but the truth remains the truth. Initially, in fairness to Nigerian media, they didn't understand what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Vast majority of Nigerians didn't understand either until that my very first interview. I think I gave it to the BBC Pidgin, where I had tried my best to explain to Nigerians what had happened to Nnamdi Kanu was illegal and unconstitutional. Okay, so since then I have seen a segment of Nigerian media using extraordinary rendition and explaining it to their readers the way it should be. But there is a certain segment that is still, married that old narrative of extradition and jumping bell. I have done a lot of public renderings on this jumping bell. If you Google it, Aloy Ejimako, jumping bell, you see oracles I have written. And this idea that he jumped bell, I addressed it in the process that I filed before the Abia High Court. It's my position that he never jumped bell, and that was why it was impossible for the court in Abuja, Justice Binta Moritela Nyako. I was the one that represented Ben Mado, Emmanuel Oka Ben Mado, one of the sureties to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for 100 million. Along with my colleague, a senior colleague, SN Chukwuma, we made presentation before the same judge that he didn't jump bail when she tried to revoke the bond so that these three people who bonded out Mazi Nnamdi Kanu could lose their 100 million. So we blocked that. And when she tried to do one more thing, we simply took an appeal to the Court of Appeal and got a stay of proceedings. So these things ought to be considered. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail, why didn't his sureties forfeit their 100 million bond? Each one of them posted a bond of 100 million, totaling 300 million. Those bonds were never forfeited because the judge never made a ruling that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail. So this is a popular misconception that, mediums like Radio Biafra, that is very popular, is supposed to take the matter up occasionally to discuss it, to inform the public that this matter of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should never be a matter of jumping bail. It's a matter of the prosecutor interfering with his freedom, interfering with his ability to come to court and then turn around to accuse him of jumping bail. Is putting unfairness upon unfairness, insult to injury. So that's what I'm going to tell you about that. Thank you.
Thank you. I think now we shall go into just few minutes breaks, and afterwards I will open my line so that people will call from all parts of the world.
I am not
in few questions they should ask,
okay,
so that we continue. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I should remain on the line.
Yes, remain. Be here, please. Be here.
You gotta do it quickly
Of course.
Down here we have very poor network.
Of course.
From the award-winning producer, Shaking Apron Beats.
Biafraland's Ghost Talent exclusive.
If any need to run to work and move to I have to see a vote in about Hebreka Hilaria. If I can do, come on, what to really to run to work and move. Really to run to work and move to Talo, or free to Talo, but moving to Talo. He ain't getting the Kakwanebe. He ain't Kanebe, Kakwanebe. Iye kanepe o kakwanebe o. Iye kanepe o kakwanebe o. Iye kanepe o kakwanebe o. IPOB, one family, IPOB. IPOB, IPOB, IPOB. Nnamdi Biafra, I say I no election. After election, they will take their deception.
Yes, so I don't come again, no. No election in Biafraland, whether they like it or not.
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra House Service coming to you through Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Jonathan Chinedu, and do not forget, I am here with our special counsel, Barrister Aloy Ejimako. Today is the 23rd day of October 2021. Many people are already calling. That is why even the music I was playing is being distracted. But we must continue. Now, I want to open our line so that people will call. People are already, everywhere is already buzzing. Our direct line is +1 213 328 6224. I repeat, +1 213 328 6224. Our WhatsApp and Signal line is, please, sorry, we shall not use this direct line. Please, I beg your pardon. Sorry, because that is also where we are communicating. Please, use only this WhatsApp and Signal line. Only, please, for today. +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. Please do not call the direct line, please. I beg you, please. I have people already on different lines. Let me come to the caller on WhatsApp. Caller on Signal, hold on. Caller on WhatsApp, please start by giving us your name, where you're calling from, and go straight to your question. Mazi, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much, Mazi.
There we go.
Thank you. Okay. My name remains Mazi Carlo Awobulawa, and I'm from Akano, Ohofia, in Umuahia province.
Barrister Jimako, hope you are hearing him.
Very clear.
Okay. Go on, Mazi, go on.
Okay. I'm serving the indigenous people of Biafra living in Malaysia as the IPOB National Secretary. My question to our honorable barrister is this. Sometime in 2017 or 2018, there was a provisional ruling by the African Commission concerning the issue of Biafra and the Nigerian state, whereby the African Commission made it categorically clear that the Nigerian state should cease forthwith with of persecution of the indigenous people of Biafra and its leader. And since then, the violation of the rights of these people and the killings has continued. What is the status of that litigation? That is my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mazi.
Thank you.
Over to you,
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say this on the record. Mazi Kanu, thank you for the question. I'm the attorney. I'm the counsel of record in that very matter. Okay, I'm the one that secured that decision by the
African Commission on Human and People's Rights. I think that was in March, precisely on March 18, 2018. But under Article 59 of the African Charter, we are forbidden from discussing that decision in the public because the implementation of the decision, there is a fear, the concern that discussing it in the public may compromise the implementation of the decision. So the African Charter prohibits that. So for that reason, I will not go into the details of that decision, but I can tell you that the case is still on. It's still an open case. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister. Mazi Carlo, I think you're gone. Okay. I have a caller on signal. Caller on signal that has been here. Please start by telling us your name and where you're calling from and your question. Go on, please.
Mazi, Jonathan, a very good evening to you, sir.
Our
honorable
Thank you.
Yes, our special lawyer. We thank you. We see the great job you're doing. Thank you once again. I have two questions.
Thank you.
One, the consequences that you talk about, what happened to Umaru Diko, it's not happening to our leader. And from the look of things, it might not happen anytime soon. Is there any other channels that we can use to make sure that the people that were participating in these extraordinary renditions are brought to book? Probably arrested because it's a crime scene, probably arrested, and also tried in a court of law. That's one. Number two, regarding to the works we have done internationally, which is engaging other departments of the world in the case of our leader. How far have you gone? Because I know you're the one that has been handling that case. Thirdly, that I wanted to chip in is, can you teach Biafrans or tell us our right when we decide to do what you call civil disobedience? If we decide to boycott whatever we need to boycott, if we decide to sit at home and no one has the right to come and lock up the businesses of the people, like what Odinjo is doing in Imo State and Dave Umai, trying to stop people who have decided to do their own thing. They own the business, they own the market, they own everything that belongs there. It does not belong to the government. And government goes in to lock up those places. What is our right as a people to decide? We decide to boycott anything that we need to boycott. Are we in any way obliged by the government that we must do what they want us to do, or do it to boycott or to sit at home? Thank you so much, Barrister, and thank you, Mazi Jonathan.
Thank you. You answered three
Okay.
questions.
Okay. Yeah, three questions are great questions. Thank you very much, my brother. I'll take the questions in seriatim. The first one, the consequences, or rather what can be done to compel the British government to act. There's a law firm, one of the biggest ones in the UK. It's called the Bindemans. I think their name or their participation in this case is public information. The law firm was retained right before this rendition occurred. The law firm is quite familiar to Mazi. Mazi had used them in the past. I think that was a law firm that worked closely with me and the British government when they wanted information about the IPOB, which eventually led to their favorable view of IPOB and their non-recognition of the terrorist tag the Nigerian government put on IPOB. As you know, IPOB is not regarded as a terrorist organization in the UK. It took quite an effort by me and the Bindemans. I worked with them closely at the direction of Mazi at that time. So I think their representation of Mazi is a carryover from those days. I'm not very familiar with them, except that I have collaborated in their legal, their handling of legal issues for Mazi and the indigenous people of Biafra in the UK. They are the ones handling the British angle, and it is their decision at this point to use diplomatic interventions instead of going to court. We have discussed this extensively, and as professionals, they have handled matters like this with regard to, I think, a Turkish citizen, Turkish British citizen that was renditioned sometime in the past, and they had a success with diplomatic interventions that they had pushed before the British. And regarding the Kenyan side, the Bindemans themselves retained a law firm in Kenya. It's called the Lukri Associates. Their interventions are also very well known. So they are handling the Kenyan angle, and part of their effort in Kenya is to fish out the culprits. They have subpoenaed all the records of the departures and landings of all aircrafts in Nairobi at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi on June 27th, the day Mazi was flown away from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on a private jet. So they have subpoenaed that and a lot of other information, including the CCTV cameras, because before they can act against individuals, those individuals have to be identified. And the steps they have taken are geared to getting that result. And so they proceeded to a high court in Kenya, and they have brought a constitutional petition that will force the Kenyan government, which is still denying that is involved, to disclose information under the penalty of the law or penalty of court order. So that pretty much takes care of that angle, because I do believe that apart from other international engagements, the three particular, places we can go and get justice on this matter, there are three, like I said: Britain, Kenya, and the African Commission. And that one of the African Commission, I'm the one handling. I have filed it. They have replied to me, and they asked for more evidence. I have given them that more evidence, and I'm waiting for them to take a decision. And they have been able to link up what happened to Mazi in Kenya, the extraordinary rendition we are talking about. They have been able to link it up to the petition I had brought in December 2017 that resulted in that favorable decision the previous caller, Mr. Kanu, had referred to, decision that occurred in 2018, March 2018, that favors Mazi and the IPOB in very great dimensions. So that pretty much takes care of the first question. But the second question relates to, that I will address, is to what rights you have. Under Nigerian Constitution, you have the right to hold political opinion. Self-determination is a political opinion. Even when a political opinion is inconvenient to the government of the day, it doesn't make it legal. So what we have here is that IPOB possesses a political opinion that the government of the day is wishing to suppress by means of punishment of some sort. That doesn't make it illegal. Your political opinion is legal. Nigerian Constitution protects you to hold that opinion. Nigerian Constitution protects you from having freedom of association. IPOB is an association. It doesn't stop there. You can take it further afield to a Nigerian law they call the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. That is the Nigerian counterpart of the Continental Charter. It was domesticated in Nigeria in February 1983. And Article 20 of that law, if you have research skills, after this program, you can go to Google and Google CAP A9, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004. CAP, C-A-P, A9. That is where you find the law. At Article 20, the law says, all peoples shall have the right to self-determination and to free themselves from the bonds of oppression through use of means recognized by law. The means, IPOB is engaged in self-determination through means recognized by law. IPOB is not engaged in self-determination through war. It is engaged in self-determination through public awareness like Radio Biafra and what have you, and requesting or demanding for referendum. Referendum is not war. Referendum is legal. Referendum has produced many new nations in the world like Eritrea, South Sudan, Kosovo, Serbia, Croatia, Slovakia, and Czech Republic, and other many nations. And here in Nigeria, referendum took western part of Cameroon in 1961 and put it in Cameroon of today, and took part of Cameroon, the former Sadana province of Cameroon, and put it in Nigeria. Today's Adamawa and Taraba states used to be part of Cameroon. That's why some people were saying that Atiku is not a Nigerian citizen because he was born in Adamawa province of Cameroon before he became Nigeria in 1961. And it was through referendum that Nigeria created a new and fourth region in 1963 called the Midwest region. So as a lawyer, I have looked critically at what IPOB is doing. It's my duty to tell IPOB, well, keep within the boundaries of the law. But you don't tell them to keep within the boundaries of the law when they are keeping in the boundaries, within the boundaries of the law already. So when IPOB says sit at home, provided, it is not, it doesn't go beyond that. People, it's a voluntary act. And people are sitting at home and you are blaming IPOB for that. It goes beyond that. You see? So whoever tries to frustrate the sit at home by use of force is the one that is breaking the law. Anybody that tries to threaten people to come out to their shops, that they must come to their offices or they will be fired from their jobs, that is the person that is breaking the law. Civil disobedience is legal since the beginning of the time. That was how Mahatma Gandhi was able to free India from British Raj, from British colonialism, and that was how Martin Luther King was able to equalize the playing field in America between the black and whites. It was civil disobedience. Okay, so it has happened before. It's not IPOB that is employing it the first time, but what is creating the problem is that the response of the government of the day. I made it clear that what the government of the day is doing is trying to suppress a legitimate political opinion through punishment of some sort, use of military, use of police, use of threats, use of arrest, use of trials, use of extraordinary rendition. So it's the government of the day that is actually breaking the law. It's not IPOB. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister. Before I continue, I have people that are online. There is something you said I want also clarification. You talked about one of the avenues of obtaining justice you mentioned through Britain, United Kingdom, through Kenya, and through the African Union. Now, my question for you to clarify is this. Like this African pronunciation or African judgment, is it really legally binding for countries, or is it just kind of political or ceremonial, please?
Well, Nigeria is a state party to a host of international treaties. One of them is the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, which Nigeria ratified in 1979. So being a state party to an international treaty makes you duty bound to obey or to implement decisions issued from that treaty. The African Commission on Human and People's Rights was set up pursuant to a treaty Nigeria signed and domesticated, signed or ratified in 1979 and domesticated in 1983. So under Nigerian Constitution, I think in Section 9 of the Constitution, Nigeria is duty bound to abide by the decisions of any tribunal or court set up under that treaty. This very matter came up in the matter of Gani Fawemi versus Attorney General of the Federation back in the day, and the Supreme Court held that even treaties in certain situations such as this can be placed above the laws of Nigeria. It's only the Nigerian constitution that is above a treaty. So yes, Nigerian government is bound to obey. Yes, but of course, I know why you are concerned, because Nigerian government also has a history of disobeying the orders of her own courts, and that was why Mazi Nnamdi spent almost over 15 months in detention from October 2015 when he was initially arrested. Several orders of bail were made, and those orders were thwarted, disobeyed. So this very government, not only in the case of Mazi Nnamdi, it has a very checkered history of disobeying court orders, not only of its own courts, but of the continental kind, such as the one the caller referred to that was issued in March 2018. So this is what we have to be dealing with. But when you secure these orders and they are not obeyed, you just hope as a lawyer, you keep pushing. At least it gives you something to stand on, to demand that all and goodwill across the world and all nations, all civilized nations will come together and force and compel the government to obey the order. So we are not deterred by the prospect of disobedience of others, and to seek the procurement of such orders. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a caller on WhatsApp. Please, caller on Signal, hold on, I'll come to you. Caller on WhatsApp, please proceed with your question. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp.
Yes, Mazi Jonathan, I can hear you. Good evening from here.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, first of all, my name's Mazi Akas. I'm calling from Austria. I want to say this evening, may Elohim to God Kabiama bless our lawyer Ejimako for coming out to clarify issues that are so important to Biafrans. I want to proceed to say, according to what he's explaining this evening, I'm seeing Mazi Nnamdi is still in Kenya, according to the extraordinary rendition. He's still in Kenya. And my question is, on 10th of November, without the Nigerian government or their lawyers, without them talking about this extraordinary rendition, can our lawyers proceed by dealing with the allegations laid on our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? This is number one. Number two is that many of us living in diaspora here obtain citizenship here. And the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has made all of us to see that it is possible that Nigeria can go to any place and kidnap anybody and bring to that country. And the world is keeping quiet. My question on this aspect is, if something is not being done concerning this extraordinary rendition, if it happens to any other so-called Nigeria that obtain foreign passport, my question here is, what is the world going to do about this? Because this country called Nigeria, this zoological country called Nigeria, don't obey court order. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mazi Akans. Barrister, over to
you. Thank you, my brother, for your questions. Your questions are great questions. Let me address them one by one. First of all, what is going to happen on 10th November will be a motion hearing. It's very important for our listeners out there to understand that that day is not set down for trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What will happen that day will be a hearing on the application that contains this extraordinary rendition argument that the court has no jurisdiction, no authority, no leg to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu pursuant to the extraordinary rendition. It was the government that asked for time to respond to the application and time was given to them. So on that day, the motion would be moved, and expectedly the court would take a decision or make a ruling. One way or the other, let us assume the court says, well, we have jurisdiction, then trial proceeds. But the court's ruling that it has jurisdiction will also be subject to appeal. So that settles it. Then regarding the one in Umahia on 2nd November, I had explained before that also that one will be a motions hearing. That one is not challenging the jurisdiction of the court in Abuja, but challenging the authority of the prosecutor who renditioned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to profit from his rendition and put him to trial. So we are saying you can't put anything on illegality. So that pretty much takes care of that. Then I think the question is important because the concern of the caller that people who now acquire a second citizenship would be amenable or vulnerable to rendition is very, very important. You know, I recall back in the day when I was living in America, and I think it was, I believe it was Sani Abacha that was in power of Babangida, and there was this rumor that, you know, too many arrests were being made in Nigeria, even if you come in with foreign currency. And those of us in the US at the time who never even wanted to become US citizens quickly rushed and applied to become citizens, and we secured US passports, you know. So when we traveled to Nigeria, we now traveled on the visa, on Nigerian visa with our US passport. So I will, as a form of free legal advice to my friend and brother from Austria, I will advise you that in this kind of situation, if you're coming to Nigeria, you better go to the embassy and get a visa. Because if you travel into Nigeria with your Nigerian passport, you have arguably made yourself subject to the authority of the Nigerian government. I'm saying this in open air. It's a free legal advice. So, but there's real fear stemming from what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that the Nigerian government may go rogue again on anybody who has dual nationality and rendition him and nothing happens. That is why it's very important for all men and goodwill everywhere out there to come to our aid as a legal team and give us the moral support to be happy on this extraordinary rendition, because if our argument fails to pass muster in a Nigerian court, it's going to have far-reaching consequences on others, such as my brother from Russia legitimately fears that it might also affect people like him. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister. I have a caller that has been here on Signal. Caller on Signal, please. Your name, where you're calling from, and go straight to the question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening, Mazi Jonathan.
Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Barrister Jumafo. My name is Chibike. I'm calling from the zoo. Well, the question I wanted to ask, I think he has addressed it a little bit, because I wanted to know the stand of the Nigerian court concerning the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because initially, like you said, that they don't have the jurisdiction to try him, but now the court case, we are hearing trial charges, amended charges, trial and all. So I wanted to know the stand of the Nigerian court. Are they proceeding with trying him or discussing the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya? I think you addressed it in the last discussion you made, but if you could throw a little more light, I will appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure, my brother. It requires clarification, because these things have to do with the procedural rules of the court. The charges have been brought, and it surprised me though that on 9th June 2021, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was initially presented in court, the court in Abuja here did not make inquiries as to how he suddenly appeared before the court after several years of hiatus. I mentioned that in the originating lawsuit I brought for the Abia State High Court. I don't think that's proper. Okay, fine. Now that the charges have been filed, it's now up to us to challenge those charges based on any grounds upon which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can legitimately challenge the charges. So the charges have been challenged in the court in Abuja. The challenges are geared to, telling the court that it doesn't have jurisdiction because of the extraordinary rendition. But don't forget that there is also a lawsuit, in Abia State that is challenging the authority of the prosecutor. So, but let me address the one in Abuja. If perchance the court says it has jurisdiction, it's a court, it says it has jurisdiction, so the case goes to trial. But when it says it has jurisdiction, that very ruling is also subject to appeal. So a whole lot of things are still open to question. But you see, we are lawyers, we are in court, and that is where our constituency is. That is where we are going to make our case. And that brings me to one caller that had said something very important, that he believes that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still technically in Kenya. That was the title of an article I have written just about a month and a half ago. If you go to Google and Google it, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still technically in Kenya. A lawyer, he will pull it out. So he will answer a whole lot of questions. Because my argument there is, as between Britain and Kenya, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still technically in Kenya. Because he entered Kenya in May on a valid British passport. So while in Kenya, he was Her Majesty's subject, not Nigerian government subject, because he did not enter on any Nigerian passport. So I was saying that to ginger the British government to inquire towards the Kenyan government. The inquiry this time shouldn't be towards Nigerian government that has been stonewalling them. Yes, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is physically here, but technically he's still in your country, Kenya. Where is our citizen that entered your country in May? What happened to him? So as far as foreign relations law or the conventions undergirding foreign relations between nations, British government can legitimately demand explanations of the whereabouts of her citizen that entered Kenya in May. So the caller that characterized it as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still technically in Kenya is spot on. He's right on the money. He characterized it correctly, and that's what it should be as between Britain and Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister. I have a caller that is here on WhatsApp. Please, caller on WhatsApp, welcome to the program. Tell us who you are and present your question. Go on, please. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? What is happening? Reconnecting? No, we don't have that time. I don't know. Another caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Please, your question. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Please, go on, please, go on. Introduce yourself and go straight to the question.
Okay, my name is Chiso. My question is that as Nigeria as a state, they have three arms of government: the judiciary and the executive and the legislative. Now that the Nigerian government, the state, the executive are opposing the judiciary, peradventure that the judge Binta Nyako are heading to Nigeria, are heading to the executive and pass this extraordinary decision order and do it whereby. Did the world have anything to do to that judge if she ruled partially? Did the world have anything or to penalize Nigeria or the woman
Barrister.
Hello?
Yeah,
My
Barrister,
question
I hope
was,
you had him. Yes.
well, the decision of the Federal High Court in Nigeria is subject to appeal to the Court of Appeal. And decision of the Court of Appeal is subject to appeal to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So if the judge makes an error of fact or law, it lies with us to appeal to the Court of Appeal, and if the property makes the same error, we appeal to the Supreme Court. But you see, Nigeria doesn't have a jury system like United States where I used to practice law. The best we have that looks like a jury system is the general public, people like you that add their voice, to the debate. So hopefully judges do listen and read all these things so that they can come to a better judgment that best reflects the aspirations of the society and reflects the position of the law on the matter. So we don't have any choice than to take our chances with the municipal courts in Nigeria. But again, there is a little bit of a window, a legal window that exists within the international legal order. And I had addressed that before, that the only international tribunal that has clear jurisdiction, concurrent jurisdiction with Nigerian courts, is the African Commission on Human and People's Rights and the African Court. And the matter is already before them. So that's just what we gotta do. We take our chances with the proper forum, and that's exactly what we are doing right now. And of course, don't forget that there is the underlying case in Omaya in Abia State, which is also making its way through the judiciary. So I hope that the judiciary won't get it wrong twice in Abuja, in Abia State. That is our hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister. I have a caller on signal. Caller on signal. Mazi, is it Tochi? Tochi, please, your question.
Yes, good evening.
Welcome to the program.
I don't have much because this is a line. Do you know that person that you was talking about with DOS the other day? I called you for a special.
I can't hear this caller very well.
Can you go straight to your question? Introduce yourself. Now you go straight to your question, please, if you may.
I can't go straight, but what you should do is just tell Barrister, our lawyer.
He's listening. He's hearing you.
Okay. If he will take this number, you need to give it to him. Everything that he's doing, as I'm talking to you, Nigeria government is listening, Putin is listening, all the world power is listening.
Mazi, we are not in a private issue. We know that the whole world is listening. That is why we are talking in a radio, please. If you don't have any question, I will rather crave your indulgence to go to caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp, please go on your questions. Introduce yourself and go straight to the question. Thank you.
Yeah, Mazi, good evening.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, my name is Paul, calling from Gabon, Mazi. The question I have to the barrister is that, first of all, I have to congratulate them for their job they are doing, because they are in a very critical time, and I'm calling the Chukwu Kabiyama to protect them. It's not easy. The question I have this evening is that I want to ask them, what are they doing? Because my question is that sending military to civilians in Biafraland, I know that sending military in the citizen of the nation is not acceptable in the law. What are they doing to force those governors? Because Southeast governors are supporting, they are the one bringing military in our region. What are they doing to make them to stop this nonsense? I have much question. What are they doing to stop this nonsense?
Thank you.
In Biafraland?
Thank you. Barrister, do you have anything to say about this? You had him.
Okay, so it's like anyway. It's a very good question.
People are watching.
But you see, yeah, it's like ascribing powers to lawyers, ascribing powers that they don't have. I mean, we are lawyers, we are humans, we have limitations. So the only power we have is to take matters to court. And what he asked about the lawyers, what the lawyers are doing, these things are in courts already. We don't have a military. I mean, lawyers don't deploy the military.
But you are citizens, also. You are citizens.
Eh?
I mean, as citizens also, you are citizens.
I don't understand.
I say you are lawyers, yes, but also you are also citizens. Citizens.
That's what I'm saying now. We're also under the same threat that he's talking about.
Yes.
So the idea of, I just want to clarify something because of the way he sounded as if lawyers are superhuman. I'm talking to you from Nigeria, and the previous caller had expressed concern about privacy. You told him to speak openly, but he didn't want to do that. Apparently, he's afraid, but I'm here, both talking to you, and then there shouldn't be any insinuation that I have superhuman power. So you made a very good point, Jonathan, that I'm not only a lawyer, I'm also a resident of Nigeria. I'm staying in Nigeria. I'm talking from you, from a location in northern Nigeria. So if it's not somebody like me that has some courage, I'll be wondering that after this broadcast, will I be able to leave my location safely to Alib or to Ala Biafra? Those are the questions. So we are as vulnerable as the last caller. So the only avenue we have to stopping illegalities or stopping executive lawfulness is to go to court. And that's what we have done. That's what we've been doing. What else can we do? What else? We're not superhuman. So I can only assure the lawyer that, the last caller, that we do the best we can as lawyers, but we do face present and imminent dangers. There's something that happened to me at the premises of DSS facility on 27 July. I'm sorry, I have to say it in public, but I'll be very limited. Okay? My own liberty was restrained on that date, but I'm going to talk about it on another day, on a better day. So why I'm referring to it is to give you an inclination of the dangers that we face, that we're not free as well, but we just have to trudge on your behalf, because it's my duty to defend my clients to the best of my ability, fearlessly and zealously. It's my duty. I'm sworn to do it, and I'm going to do it. Nobody is going to stop me, but it doesn't mean I'm a superhuman. I'm also human, and I can be hurt. And, any of these things, I will also be caught up as a victim as it happened on 27 July, as I referred. I cannot give you the details here, but Mazi is my witness. It happened in front of him, so we'll talk about it on a good day, Jonathan. Thank you.
Thank you. I understand. You guys are working in a very, very hostile, primitive, hostile environment. We all know that. Very primitive and hostile environment. I have a caller that has been dear caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Please go straight by introducing yourself and straight to the questions, if you may. Go on.
Yes, Mazi Jonathan. Good evening, sir, from here.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you for the work, and also I'm appreciating our special counsel, Barrister Ejimako. I want to ask two questions.
Can you give us your name? Give us your name.
My name is Morris, and I'm calling from Texas.
Go on, please. Thank you.
My name is Morris. I'm calling from Texas. Thank you. I want to ask two questions briefly. Number one is, I'm asking this because of our special counsel is in a better position to give us some, encouraging answer. Is there any kind of pushback to the Nigerian state that we are getting from the U.S. as an authority? That's one. Then number two, In the law court in Nigeria, we saw the way media, the lawyers, and the statesmen are getting restricted from entering the law court. So my question is there any way that can use kind of their legal power or voices to force the Nigerian state to allow the media to be in the law court, in the courtroom? Because through the media, a lot of public eyes will be beaming on the whatever that will be going on in there. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Remain blessed. Barrister, please. I hope you have him.
Yes.
Please go on.
I cannot mislead the general public. Judges have discretion. Judges have wide discretion to determine who comes into court or not. And historically, judges in Nigeria have targeted the media as a constituency that should be excluded from the courtroom because they are concerned about matters that are sub judice being reported live from their courtrooms. But the matter of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is of international interest, is of overriding public interest, is a high-profile prisoner of conscience. So we do believe there is basis in law and fact to permit media to set up a little bit of shop, to be in the courtroom, to report live what is going on in the courtroom. It's a unique situation. It's not an ordinary case. And when you don't allow the media, the impression out there in the general public is that something funny is going on. Yes, there are ways, the court can be approached, but you see, it's not probably a good strategy to go to another court with a lawsuit to force a judge, another judge. So we just have to make applications within the case. Make applications before that set court to allow the media. You could recall last time it was very tough. It was very tough for lawyers to see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And we had to make applications to the court, and the court granted the application that lawyers should see him twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. Then on 21st October, we made 4 applications, and then the visitation rights to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were thrown open to the general public. So even you, Jonathan, if you have the heart of a lion, you can come now. Take you to DSS. You're now free to see Mazi and anybody. So we just have to credentialize you and submit your name to the DSS that you are coming. They approve you and you go and see Mazi. So all hope is not lost. So anything that has to do with his rights, we are taking a very hard look at them, and I'm going to give you the assurance that we're not going to take anything lying low. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister. I think I will take in a few more calls in order to call it a day. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp, please present yourself and ask your question. Caller on WhatsApp.
So I remember calling from Biafraland.
My goodness me, you're
and hello, can you hear me now?
Go on, please. Go on, be fast so that before your connection becomes funny. Go on.
Okay, so Barrister, my first question is, given the fragile nature and of the judiciary in this country, what is the hope that we are going to get justice? Given the manner the justice system, is not reliable in this country. And there was some time ago the issue of the British Nnamdi Kanu being a British citizen. There was an issue of this Counsil. So does it mean that issue is no longer valid? And again,
please, I think two questions are enough because your voice is cracking, honestly. We can hardly understand what you're saying, but let us speak it. I think it's better. A few questions would be enough. Barrister, do you hear him? Did you
All right, so yes, I hear him. See, to begin with, you are talking about two questions, but I didn't get any word clearly of his first question.
Okay,
I don't know. I think he was talking about
I hope you. Can you repeat your question, please? Clearly. No.
Okay, Jonathan, let me interrupt him. Can you ask him to take some question to you so he can answer?
Maz, you know what you're going to do? Yes. Maz, you know what you're going to do? Please send a voicemail. Voice your question so that I will aid. Voice it direct so that I will aid. Because your network is not good.
Thank you. Let's move on.
I have a caller.
I'm happy to talk to my clients for the next 10 hours, but I'm concerned about poor low batteries, which is creeping. Those two are creeping into my phone as we speak. I can notice that my battery is about to fail me and my network is
please,
kind of
now
fluctuating.
I will take these two last questions, last callers. Signal. Can you hear me? Call on Signal.
Yeah, Mazi Jonathan. Good evening, sir.
Please introduce yourself and go straight to your question. There we
My name is Chineye. I'm calling from Accra.
Please, can you raise your voice? Can you raise your voice? If you are using earpiece, remove it.
Now, please.
Go on.
Yes, my name is Chineye. I'm calling from Accra, Ghana.
Okay, go
on. Our barrister, thank you so much, and I greet you all for your good efforts towards bringing our leader out. This question I'm going to ask you, please, if you cannot answer it here, in fact, I don't even need it answered here. I want to plead that take your time when you end this conversation. Every of our lawyers listening to this conversation right now should sit down and answer this question in their hearts. And this question is, please, are you people sure that you can bring out Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before the end of this month? Because if this question is not properly answered, if you guys will not sit down and answer this question properly, there might be a serious problem. Because of the way Nigerian government is going and their lawyers and the courts, whatever, the way everything is going right now, are you people sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if you do all these legal processes, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to come out before the end of this month? Please think about this question, answer it. After answering it, call the DOS and tell them what you think accordingly so that we can act fast, because we cannot wait anymore. We have been patient and we are tired.
Thank you, Mazi. Do you have anything to say about it, Barrister?
He said the rules of engagement. He said I shouldn't answer the question.
He said if you don't want, you keep it.
Well, he said we should think about it. He addressed it to all the lawyers, but I don't think there was anything from any of the lawyers that Mazi is going to come out by the end of this month. Jonathan, was such thing said by anybody?
No.
The hearing, the next two hearings in his case are set for 2nd November in Abia State, and the next one
everybody wants him to come out
in November. And I think it will be a great disservice to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his teeming supporters out there, that number in the millions, for lawyers to be expected to be setting deadlines on when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to come out. And Jonathan, I think the audience needs to be well guided. It's not the lawyers that renditioned him. It's not the lawyers that are keeping him in illegal detention. And there is no lawyer in any field of practice representing any client in such circumstances that can give you 100% assurance of when he is going to achieve results, because we don't have such power. That's just simple. It's very frustrating. You know, I wish I had such power. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be addressing all of you tonight the way it pains my heart. but I don't have the power. The power that lies me is the power of legal representation. Zealous, powerful, skillful, strong, fearless, courageous legal representation. That is what I'm bringing to the table. And I'm hoping that it's going to achieve the result that I seek for Mazi. That's the only assurance I can give. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi.
It's a very emotional. His question made me emotional. I'm sorry.
Of course. You know, every one of us wants our leader to come out.
Because I identify with him. I feel frustrated. I want my client out tomorrow.
Of course.
Tomorrow. I want him out tomorrow.
Of course.
I'm frustrated as a human being, as somebody who believes in the rule of law, as somebody who believes that he shouldn't be undergoing what he's undergoing. What the hell are we talking about? Somebody that is asking for referendum? He did nothing wrong. What's going on? So I can feel the frustrations of Chinenye. I think that's his name. The last caller.
Yes.
Chinenye, your question doesn't need to be answered secretly because I share your pain. I do, quite candidly. I feel powerless to do stuff I want to do, but the only power that I have is the power of advocacy. And I'm going to bring it to bear. That's the only hope I have, and I hope it works out for him. So that this terrible predicament and trial and tribulation can be over with and done with once and for all. Thank you, Jonathan. Let me take one more question.
Yes, of course.
Hopefully we can end this program. I'll come back another day, I promise you.
Of course. My phones are buzzing everywhere. Caller on WhatsApp, you're going to be the last caller before I turn off the phones, please.
Hello, good evening, Barrister. Hello, Jumako. I don't want to thank you, sir, because the work have not yet finished. Also, Jonathan, you on radio. Barrister, my question to you, I'm calling from Germany. My name is Amande Anaesde. My question to you is, why can't our lawyers made it pump and play to Nigeria government that this case should be Biafra versus Nigeria, not other way around Nigeria versus Nnamdi Kanu? Number one. Number two, I heard you said that if you can advise our people like me, we should went tomorrow to collect another citizenship, which is not Nigeria, which you mean that we should not have dual citizenship.
Let me answer the question. I'm losing network.
Okay.
Okay, Barrister, go on.
I'm losing network.
Barrister, go on.
Let me take, please. Let me take the issue of passport first. I told a personal story of what we had to do in the 1990s when there was dictatorship in Nigeria. I never advised any Nigerian or any Igbo man or Biafran overseas to go and take a second passport. I think that question came from somebody in Austria who was concerned about whether his Austrian passport can protect him. So I answered the question, and someone is now saying that I advised people to go and get a second passport. Please, I never did that. Then, as it relates to his first question, which I forgot, Jonathan, can you jog me? I didn't hear him well. What was his first question again?
Mazi, you are here. Please, go on. Your first question, please.
My first question is, why can't this case be Biafra versus Nigeria?
Okay, I got you. Okay, the question is already answered by lawsuit in Abia State. In that lawsuit, the federal government is the defendant and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the plaintiff. Okay, so the federal government is defending itself. While Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is defending himself in Abuja, the federal government should come to Umuahia or Abia State and defend itself. You know, so that first question is a very good question. So perhaps you are not familiar with the lawsuit in Abia State. So let me seize this last opportunity to tell you more about it. The lawsuit, I brought it personally on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the defendants, which in the lawsuit are called the respondents, are the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Nigerian Armed Forces, the police, the DSS. You know, those are the defendants. So let them come to Abia State High Court and explain to the judge what they have been doing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and members of IPOB since December 2017. That was for legal reasons. I had to start from that date, because Nigeria, presumably gained jurisdiction to try in court in October 2015. And they didn't leave him alone to come and face his trial. They came and interfered with his ability to come to court. And they pursued him to Kenya and renditioned him to Nigeria. So we just have to have a terminal date. So the terminal date, or the beginning date when these things began to occur, that led to the trigger that triggered the cause of action in Abia State was September 2017. So Nigerian government is now a defendant, or the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a whole is a defendant before the Abia State High Court. So to that extent, that is just the best we can do at this point.
Thank you, Barrister Ejimako. And as you promised, we are expecting your presence here from time to time. I don't know whether you have a party shot just in a minute.
I'm happy to talk to my clients. I don't consider myself only a special counsel to only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I consider myself a special counsel to anybody who believes in what he's doing, the members of IPOB, who I believe are not doing anything wrong. So I'm happy to talk to them and have this interaction, which I consider to be very fruitful and informative. And thank you, Jonathan. You are doing a great job. Thank you.
They will remember blessed. Thank you. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through the auspices of Radio Biafra London. I think many people are still calling, but everybody will not have the opportunity to call because of the time limit. And one person will be talking at a time. Before I close this program, I want us to understand that we are in a very serious situation. Our attorneys, our lawyers, they are also working in a very hostile and primitive situation. All we need is to encourage them, encourage ourselves, continue in whatever engagement we are into in this struggle. Because we are a body. We are one family. We are working towards one goal, and that goal is the restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra. Therefore, please, as I've been saying, history will remember us that we did the right thing because we are selfless. Each and every one of us wants our leader to be out even now. But let me tell you, our leader is going to be out. Make no mistake about it. These are the tribulations. These are the inconveniences. These are the sufferings that all these other people, all these so-called intellectuals in our land, intellectuals and the politicians, they are avoiding. Instead of them to go through this inconvenience, they better continue in the status quo. Even if it means being slaves, even if it means being treated like slaves. Look at in Abuja how they treated them. You just give them seat outside, let the sun be beating them. This is how they have reduced themselves. This generation said, no, we cannot continue accepting this in the name of one Nigeria. It is practically impossible. It is practically impossible. We have accepted to go through this inconvenience. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is at the forefront. Ima, there is nothing, if you talk, you cannot be Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Your jealousy cannot make you be like him. Nobody can be like him, but only him is unique. He has energized us and continue energizing us through his ways and actions in order to be consistent in what we are doing. Because consistency is the key. Why the Fulani, they are controlling everything in Nigeria. What they started 1804 by Ottoman Danfodio, they never one day remove their focus. They never lose focus of that goal that Ottoman Danfodio started for them 1804. What is that focus? To make sure that you and I didn't control our destiny. To make sure that nobody rules over them. To make sure to dip Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. That is what they have been focusing on. They never allowed anything. I say anything. It doesn't matter political positions or money to deviate them from that focus. That is why every time I tell you that we should admire them. We fought a war for just few years and we forgot the focus. This have been, if I remember it, so I become mad. We just forgot and enter into trading, buying and selling. Do you understand? South Sudan, right from 1956, when Sudan had independence, they started fighting. They said, no, we no go agree. We cannot be with these people. Today they are free. The problem we are having is inconsistency in our ideology. To the extent even they removed, they erased us of any ideology. Our ideology became go and make money, boutique, and come and be just a big tree you are, that cannot make an island in your village. That is it. Do you understand? So this is the problem we have, and that is what has been affecting our lives till today. Lack of consistency, that is inconsistency. That is it. But today we have understood. We have really understood. Do you understand me? We have really understood our problem, because our problem is in our hand. Our problem come from us. We are the cause of our problem. Therefore, the first thing to getting a solution, to a problem is to identify the problem. Once we have identified the problem, now it's okay. Now it's okay. We'll be heading to the solution of the problem. Just 1 second. So what am I saying? That we have identified our problem. That is inconsistency, lack of ideology, and inconsistency. Do you understand me? That is the problem we are having. We go after we become deviated like an excited dog that you are walking without chain. After he just started a passive order of anything and started running left and right, excited. That is why we are where we are today. People that have focus and continue the working on their focus, today they are free. It doesn't matter what it took them, because freedom is not something you get by after drinking tea. You give us a freedom, they give you freedom. It doesn't work like that. South Sudan is free today. They fought 2 wars. First war, 12 years. Second war, 17 years. But when you come to our land, it is all these old men. They will tell you, have you seen war? I keep on repeating this so that our people will understand. I keep on repeating this. Have you seen war? South Sudan fought for 39 years. People died. Today, they are free. That is the beauty of it. I think I have somebody that will read Psalm. I think so. I don't know why some people just take it as a pleasure to disturb my lines. Call it. Mazi, okay, for you say somebody want to read the Psalm, please. It's with you.
Yes, yeah, Mazi Jonathan, this Pastor Riot for me.
Okay, please go on.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me today.
Go on, please. Go on. Because I'm on the verge of closing. Go on.
Okay, thank you very much. Dear friends, wherever you are, please join us in the reading of the Psalm 146. The Psalm 146 is the Psalm of today. So, I will urge every one of us to go and look at it and read the Psalm, and we're going to pray. I'm going to have the Lord Chukwu have advised us, and advised through our leader Mazi, Nnamdi, Kanu, who have all just to be consistency in reading this Psalm till 150. The night we today we are reading 146. So, dear friends, wherever you are, I want you now to go there and read the Psalms, and we are going to pray. Father, we are praying because you are God. So we are thanking you because what you have done for us on 21st, bringing out our leader. As you did so, that we are giving you praises and thanks. We are saying your name be exalted and we revered your name. We are saying thank you, Daddy, because you are worthy of praises. You are worthy of our glory. Honor and adoration be given unto your name, everlasting King of glory, the mighty in battle, Daddy in heaven. You have shown us that you rule it in the heaven and the earth and beneath the earth. You rule it. You are the ruling Father. That we are giving praise because we know that you have honored us again and you are going to honor us again and again and again. For our word said according to the book of Ezekiel 21, he said, Lord God, that you overturn and you overturn it and you overturn, and whose right it is you will give it to him. It is the right of Biafra to be free, and you are proving by bringing our leader out again, showing us it is the time and your own time, and no man can change it, not even our enemies will change it, no kingdom of darkness can change it, no demons of hell can change it, Daddy. Therefore we pray, we read this psalm, we are not going to read all of them, there's a few of it we are going to read. I go to the Psalm of 146 and it says, praise ye the Lord, praise ye the Lord, my soul. And he said, while I live, I will praise the Lord, and I will sing praises unto my God. While I have any being, put not your trust in princes, nor in sons of men, in whom there is no help. According to Psalm 146:4, and he said, his breath goeth forth, he returned to his earth. In that very day, things his thoughts perish. Happy is he that had the Lord to go to him. Oh, thanks for his help, and whose help is in the hand of God Almighty. And I will discontinue I will read, God which made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that therein is, which keepeth truth forever. Our God Chukwu is the God of the truth. Therefore, whoever is planning, as they are planning to destroy IPOB, as they are ganging up with witches and wizards, as they are ganging up with evil personalities, as they are saying in their heart, aha, let us go and destroy IPOB, that they shall have all fail, because we are God. That we are anchoring our prayer tonight in the name Chukwu. You have exalted your holy name. You have disappointed the devices of the craft, that their hand could not perform their enterprises. You are really the living God. that we have tested you and improving. You rule forever, and you rule in our life. You rule in the life of Biafrans, whatever they are. Today we are saying thank you, Daddy. We are saying, Daddy, mighty Father, fight our battle. Daddy, fight our battle. Fight our battle, and make us like the mighty Father. Be the sons and daughters who stand in your sanctuary, magnifying, testifying your goodness. Forever and ever we pray. All this we ask you in the mighty name of Chukwu. We thank you, Daddy. God bless you, dear friends. God bless us. We continue to read the rest of the psalm, and we are going to do our thanksgiving. And when we get to 150, God bless you, dear friends, again. Thank you, Mazi Jonathan, for giving this opportunity to lead our prayer to the end of 146 and 150. We will make thanks our face unto your holy name. Thank you, and good night from here.
There will. I think this is where I'm going to draw the curtain for today. The Biafrans, we have had it, lovers of freedom. Everybody wants our leader to be out. As I said before, make no mistake about it, our leader must, M-U-S-T, capital letter, must be released unconditionally. Because what they are doing, they are holding a hot potato. Do you understand? Although I will touch it more tomorrow, but I don't know why people are bent on only calling. I don't know. Don't call again, please. Let us be much on listening. I don't know why some people, they just want to call and talk only. They don't even care to listen. It's a bad habit. I see it as bad habit. Have listening ear more than trying to just talk only sometimes. As I said, our leader must be released. We understand that Nigeria government is playing games, but not, we are 7 steps ahead of them. Our leader must be released, as have been addressed by our HOD. We gave them till the 4th of November. Do you understand? After that, Biafraland will be a lockdown. That is it. It is the sacrifice we should make. One of the sacrifices. People have paid the ultimate price. That is the reality. People have paid the ultimate price. And also, in case of, if our leader is not released on the 10th, the court day, every Igbo group or community group or Hanezendi Igbo, I don't know, any, the clergy, churches, if you know what is good for you, every religious leader or leaders, traditional leaders, elders, market leaders, must, capital M-U-S-T, is a compulsory. They must send representative delegates to Abuja High Court on the 10th of November in solidarity to our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Failure to adhere to this order shall be presumed as the enemy of the people. We are taking back our land. We are taking it back. Do you understand? So, what we need is, as I said, to be consistent in what we are doing. People should stop listening to gossip. This is one thing that our leader continue warning against, listening to gossip. Ashekwa, ashe, ashekwa, ashe. There are many ashekwa, ashe going around in this world every second. If you are not focused, you continue listening to here and there, ashekwa, ashe, and you become confused. After you say, we don't know what is that, we are confused. Nobody is confused but you. Because you continue listening to gossip. Do you understand? We are taking over our land. Let me tell you, these politicians, you see, they are few. They don't have any power. I'm telling you honestly. When you see them, you think that they are larger than life. They don't, nothing. You are the reason why. The people are the reason why that they are making this rubbish. And we can authoritatively say, through our intelligence, that the system the politicians have devised to vote during Anambra State election is by instructing, they are now instructing people to go to designated individuals' houses instead of polling units and cast their votes. Now they are going from house to house in Anambra, informing people to go to the particular house they have designated and cast their votes. Listen. Onye to vote Gawugwu Hausa. That is all we can say. You know, there is one voice that I put. I inserted it yesterday and today also. The man rightfully said, we have been going on due process and we are going from bad to worse. Every time due process, we need to vote. It's the same thing. You know, we stick. It's only election that they never fail. And we continue complying as people with them. During every 4 years, okay, come, you vote, and we go due process. When we vote, after we start shouting, all we get is rubbish. You understand? Now, why not we do something else so that we can get another result? The man rightfully said, he said, let us remove ourselves from this due process and see the results, what we can get. If they want, let them put a call Fulani to come and rule Anambra. Let us see. When he humiliates everybody, like they humiliated people in Abuja. When we go to Sadona of Sokoto to his palace, when they will go there and he will tell all of them, so-called elders, I have the photo is on social media. I saw it. When I looked at photo, I said, these people, they are useless. When they go there, they will lie them down. They will sit them down. Sit them down on the ground. Abomination. So-called elders, remove their caps, their red caps, and put on the ground. They sit them down. Now you see the Fulanis sitting on seats. When they agree to do that, why wouldn't they be sent outside the court, sitting on? You know, when you accept one humiliation, you accept all. These people, these so-called elders, these old men and women running our lives for so long. These people, honestly, they want us, before we can realize anything, we have become complete slaves in the hands of the Fulani. The only thing is that they are making money out of it. Money goes to them. They are getting crumbs out of enslaving us, their people, their own people. They are the cause, the reason why we are, they are the reason why we are in a mess. Sometimes people talk about, it's Britain, it's this and that. No, we are the cause of our own problem. This world is a world of exploitation. I used to say it. It is a world whereby exploitation is allowed. That is the rule of the world. If you can exploit and get away with it, do it. Do you understand me? If you can exploit others and get away with it, do it, no problem. If you cannot get away with it, you look at maybe the consequence. Look at Iran now is trying to get nuclear weapon. Do you see what is costing them? Sanctions. Do you know what it means? That type of sanction, economic sanction and different types of sanctions. Do you know that people are dying because of this? Iranians are dying because of these sanctions. Do you understand that? But they are comparing the advantage of being one of the most powerful countries in the world, what will we bring to their future generation? And abandoning it, they are comparing it with the sanctions they are having. People dying, people starving, this and that. Now they are taking decisions. Tomorrow when they come out victorious, now you start looking at the results. You don't even think about what they suffer. That is why I say we are the cause of our problem, because we are not consistent. We jettison. And once the thing is difficult, you see an average Igbo man jettison it. As far as it's not about making money, it's not about money. It's about a struggle. It's about doing things so that other people can benefit for our collective interest. They know they carry them for head. Nah, this Biafra thing. Carry them for your neck. No, it's personal. You should take it personal and consistently so. That is how we have victory. As I said, we fought for. We tried. Our people tried. But this type of thing, you don't give up. 67 to 70. Even they put a blanket on it. The pronunciation of Biafra becomes a taboo, and we accepted it. It becomes a taboo in our land. Even our own people are mocking it. Oh, Chineke, we are the cause of our problems. I'm telling you. But this time, when our leader will be speaking, he said, the Fulani, they don't understand the type of this generation, IPOB, they are messing with. That when we finish with them, you see Hausa will take back their land, Sokoto, and rename it Kobe. They will pursue the Fulani to the foot of Jelon. We will wear them out. It is very hard for our people to raise up from slumber. But once we rise up, it is finished. We become suicidal. And that is where we are heading. Therefore, I thank each and every one of you. Biafra, as you know, is our religion. It is our religion, our ideology. We have stayed so long without no ideology. And sometimes you start asking yourself, why are we like this? But thank God for our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Therefore, you've had some clarifications from our barrister, Ejiofor. We must move on. We continue praying and working. Go for now you're in any way and be doing what we are doing because therefore, from me, Mazi Jonathan, from here, it is simply good evening.
IPOB, yes, so I don't come again, though. No election in Biafraland, whether they like it or not. Makonye to election, on Abuba Hausa, na-agbagharagara ndị ọha na-eze ndị Igbo ndị okenye alụrụ a ha wee bụ eziokwu a ga-ekwu a na-egburi ya iru na maka ego ndị zu ndị ọchịchị anyị bụ ndị asị lekotewa anyị wee dara anyị wee na-egbu ka ọkụkọ maka na anyị na-ekpere Chukwu okike abịa ma ihe mmadụ na onye tụọ vootu nọ na ugwu Hausa onye tụọ vootu ọ na ugwu Hausa no election onye tụọ vootu ọ na ugwu Hausa no election onye tụọ vootu ọ na ugwu Hausa ndị Igbo niile onye tụọ vootu ọ na ugwu Hausa anụrụ o mere ntị onye tụọ vootu ọ na ugwu Hausa ekwuru o mere ọnụ onye tụọ vootu ọ na ugwu Hausa no election onye tụọ vootu ọ na ugwu Hausa no election onye tụọ vootu ọ na ugwu Hausa ọkwa sị na ọsọ chụba nwata ọ nababe ya maka na udene ka nke ọbụla ọgwụ gee ntị ka m gwunu ọrụ anyị na ndị Awụsa ọ dabarozi ma ncha ndị Igbo gee ntị ka m gwunu ifunugo onye Awụsa lụrụ nọ n'Enugwu ifunugo onye Awụsa lụrụ nọ n'Aba ifunugo onye Awụsa lụrụ nọ n'Anambra mana ndị Igbo na-alụ nọ na Sokoto mana ndị Igbo na-alụ nọ na Abuja tatanụ ka anyị dozie ebe anyị maka na nke m bụ nke m maka na nke m bụ nke m onye ọsọ tụbalụ ya na-agbabe ya ka anyị dozie ebe anyị na ndị Awụsa bụrụ okwu ndị na-enwe ọgụ n'igbu mmadụ anyị na ha bụrụ okwu maka onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Awụsa onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Awụsa asị m onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Awụsa onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Awụsa onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Awụsa no election onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Awụsa no election onye tụọ vootu ọ